This is what you're living in right now. This is your zip code. This is your snow globe. Now, if you took the snow globe, and let's say we take a person and we take a goldfish or a fish and put them in a pond 30-some years ago, what's going to happen to this? The person, the fish is going to grow to the size of the environment, correct? But also the water is going to start to evaporate. The sparkly sparkles are not going to be as sparkly. And ultimately, if you were a fish, your tail would be turned, your head would be turned, and you'd be eating and drinking your own stuff, we'll call it. So what happens? You ultimately become unshiny. You ultimately put yourself to sleep and just go away and dust away. So he says you have an opportunity. Either you smash your snow globe or stay in it and put yourself to sleep and don't make any changes. Don't do anything more. Just do what you're doing.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Sphere Rocket Podcast Network, your go-to destination in exclusive conversations with the brightest minds in the real estate industry. And for today's video and for today's episode, I'm your host, Sweet. And today we have a very, very special guest with us. And he is one of the top-rated real estate brokers in Montgomery and Bucks counties, and he began his career in 1989, inspired by his family's dedication to help others with their real estate needs. It is in his blood. So with a commitment to his clients, he became a broker and opened a new boutique of real estate company in 2001. So now with the support of EXP Realty, he's taking his expertise worldwide. Please welcome to the show, Craig Lerch.
Hey,
hi, Craig.
Let's go. What's going on, girl?
It's a pleasure to have you here in the podcast. Yeah, I'm doing so great. Yeah.
Coming in hot from Philly.
Yeah. Yeah, what's the temperature there?
It's in the 90s. It's like, between my VAs now with you guys and we're in the Philippines, we kind of compare temperatures, but your humidity and rain's a lot higher. So, but
yeah.
Other than that, now we're doing good. We're doing good.
Yeah, and so great. And speaking of, hot weather and humidity, so before we officially start, may I ask, what is like your favorite or go-to beverage after a long day of work or showing houses to people, talking with clients?
I'm going to say I love a nice cold iced tea, but I also am a vodka and club soda and lime guy. So, those are going to be my two. So I'll do an adult version and a non-adult version. we'll do PG and not. So.
Yeah, I'll go with iced tea all the way every day. Iced tea is my go-to too. So yeah. And yeah, I'm so excited, Craig, to learn from you today with all of your expertise, of course. And you have a very widespread of expertise when it comes to real estate since, when you started. So, for the first one, what inspired you to become in the real estate industry? Well, I mentioned a while ago it's with your family, but aside from that, you can divert your career with other industries. But why real estate?
Well, I'm classified as an SOB, a son of a broker. So I know, look at your face, like, what? You didn't do that. I'm the son of a broker. I was born in the business. My brother was born in the business. My sister was born in the business. My stepbrothers are all in the business. So there's very few people that when they're born, they raise their hand and say, oh, I'm going to be this or I'm going to be that. Well, guess what? I had no choice of what I was going to be. I was going to sell real estate, whether I liked it or not. My dad got in the business, had his own office in 1961. I was born at 65. Makes me an ROG in real estate, 36, 37 years, something like that. So the real estate old guy, opportunity out of the box guy. So that's kind of my tag that we use out on social media to have some fun. And that's another thing. If you're not having fun, why the hell are we doing it? So, but yeah, so I went in, worked with a family company the day after I graduated college. Started selling houses, got blessed to be one of the best in Philly through the years. Again, your ego is not your amigo, as a lot of people say. The second you start reading too much press about yourself, you will fall backwards. So ignore the press and just be you. But because you're only as good as you can be. Don't chase anyone else's dreams. Chase where you are. So then after that, my ego did get in the way of me. I decided to leave the family company of 6 offices with Coldwell Banker. Had 3 of my own offices with my brother, Christopher. And that was until about 4 years ago. And at that point, I'll be honest with you, I was 33 years into the business or 32 years in the business, and I was hating it. I was really starting to hate the industry. I've sold over 4,000 homes, over 3 decades. I've been through these ups and downs, over and outs. But the bottom line is I was starting to hate it. And I went to a friend of mine, Brian Moses, who's also a business coach, and he said to me, Craig, what are you going to do? Why are you just unhappy? I was like, I just don't feel like I'm being me. I feel like I'm in a corner. So how many of you have ever said, I feel like a cat in a corner? Well, I was the cat and I was fighting and I wasn't feeling good about it. So he says, you should get a business coach. I said, why? I coach. I've spoken in front of 4,000 people. I've been a business coach, a real estate coach. He goes, no, you got to get somebody outside the business. So he got me to his coach, Tommy Schaff. And Tommy Schaff is a wealth management coach. He's the number 1 MLB bobblehead baseball collector of bobbleheads in the United States, too, over 10,000 of them. But he it's MLS sales. He coaches high-end net worth wealth managers. So I called him and said, look, I want to get coached for you. He said, I don't know real estate. And he's like, I don't care. I want to get in your class. So we both came to a mutual agreement that I was going to take his class. And it was 52 weeks, 2 days a week at 2 hours at a shop plus 8 hours of homework. You miss 3, you get thrown out. So in process of going through that, I learned something very, very fundamental through the years, through that whole year, that all these years burned me out. I forgot my purpose. I forgot who I am. Just bleh, And we all have those moments. You wake up, you're like, why am I getting the heck out of bed? Why am I going to get beat up? And why am I doing this? And in that process, we came up with 4 things mainly. My mission statement, which is to experience the best that life has to offer and exhaust it to the max with enthusiasm and energy. The other thing we came up with was my 3 funnels. And if you don't know your 3 funnels, you should learn them real quick, because if you don't touch 2 of the 3 at any given point, you shouldn't be allowed to do it. Mine was change lives, make money, and have fun. Changing lives is working with buyers, sellers, negotiating contracts, working with other agents around me, and sharing the gray matter that's up here, 4,000 homes. Holding doors for people, random acts of kindness, walk into a bakery and drop a $100 bill and say bye for everybody and don't say who you are and just walk out. Let people pull out in front of you. So changing lives. And to do that, you got to make money. You got to affect the community around you. You got to get involved. But you got to do money. You can't do it broke. And then the other, have fun. There's too many toxicity people. You want to be happily married, hang out with happily married people. You want to be poisonous, you want to be an alcoholic, hang out with alcohol. Do whatever you're doing. I'm not saying that we all don't have our tendencies. I'm just saying get rid of the toxicities in your business, your clients, whatever you're doing, get rid of it. Okay? So unless it's 2 of these 3 things at any given point, change lives, make money, and have fun, I'm not touching it. And then we went to our final interview at the end of the time, and he says, Craig, what did you learn recently in your biggest problem is? He says, write it down. So I wrote down on a piece of paper 19046, which is my zip code. And he wrote down snow globe. And he goes, okay, so what did you say? I said, zip code. And he said, snow globe. I was like, snow globe? He goes, first, why you? I said, you know what? After I'm learning this, I've learned I think I wore out my space. I wore out where I lived. I've been doing this so long. My family's been doing it since 1961 in the area. I'm bored. I'm not this. I'm not reaching. I'm not pushing myself. I have no challenges anymore. He goes, very good. And at that point, he held this up. He goes, this is what you're living in right now. This is your zip code. This is your snow globe. Now, if you took the snow globe, and let's say we take a person and we take a goldfish or a fish and put them in a pond 30-some years ago, what's going to happen to this? The fish is going to grow to the size of the environment, correct? but also the water is going to start to evaporate. The sparkly sparkles are not going to be as sparkly. And ultimately, if you were a fish, your tail would be turned, your head would be turned, and you'd be eating and drinking your own stuff, we'll call it. So what happens? You ultimately become unshiny. You ultimately put yourself to sleep and just go away and dust away. So he says, you have an opportunity. Either you smash your snow globe or stay in it and put yourself to sleep and don't make any changes. Don't do anything more. Just do what you're doing. And at that point, I said to him, I need a bigger animal. And he said to me, have you talked to Brian about EXP? I said, yes, I did 5 years ago. And I know a lot of us have said this if you're part of EXP. I'm not going there. I'm not doing that. I'm happy in my brokerage. Well, guess where I am? I've been here 3 years. 3 years Icon. Matter of fact, as of today, start of my 4th year, best move I ever made, because what did it do? It got me out of my snow globe and gave me the blue ocean. There are no boundaries. Also, at that point, in that change, I had an executive assistant who had been with me 18 years. And she decided she wanted to take another path. And she was my right hand, always with me. She still is. Dear friend, she's in licensed with me in EXP, but she's taking a path that she wants. And I never want to own it. But so I went and started getting a virtual assistant. Trust me, I'm a touchy-feely, deep personality kind of a guy. I never thought this was going to work. And let me tell you something. Get out of your snow globe. Get your first virtual, get your second. I already know that another 18 months from now, we're going to be at our third because mine are growing up and expanding as we're going. Get out of the comfort zone. Be in curiosity. Don't be in judgment. And you'll be surprised at what you do. So now that was a long answer to why or how I got to what I'm doing. But I sell starter homes, trade-up homes, luxury homes, commercial stuff. And I have fun. Remember the 3 things. Change lives, make money, have fun.
Wow, that is so amazing. Like, I was so mind blown with with your story, and that was so inspiring actually, because I think we have kind of the same with that. Like, first I want to acknowledge with you wanting to having a business coach, because being vulnerable is not that easy. Like, oh, you think you're an expert since your family was doing it for a very long time, but it was like what they call this, like a surprise to me that there are really people sometimes who, it's not about like the success or amount of money that you are earning. It's something, sometimes even if you are achieving those kind of success, it feels like there's something that you need to still fulfill. And that is so great that you share that you're going back to yourself, being your authentic self, and growing those 3 core values that you have to live by. So would you say that is your business superpower, why you were able to expand more and be in the blue oceans instead of just being the snow globe?
I'm very coachable. I'm like Forrest Gump. Somebody tells me to go through the wall, I'm not going around and I'm not going over it. I'm going through the wall. So I'm very good on that. I'm a DI personality in the DISC personality test. So feedback to me is like water off a duck. I got to have fun with it. I also have to watch how I speak with certain people because I can run them over. So I have to learn working my S and my attentiveness to my C. Which is the exactness and point difference. And that's what we did. And that's where my virtual assistants have come in. I'm good at getting things 80% done. They're good at getting the other 20% done and or keeping me on task. And that's the key. We get so busy being busy. We get so busy on making our desks, sitting behind our desk. If we're behind our desk, we're not making money in the real estate business. We're in any business, any sales really. And if you're not building relationships, it's the same thing. Somebody else is going to be more than happy to take your clients. This number, 83%, and I know Justin said it, and I know this from before, 83% of all the real estate agents do not follow up with their clients after a settlement. Ever again, they're transactional or not transitional to their next level. So if you lose your purpose in the future of your future self, you're going to die in the present. Because if your pipeline's not full and you're not taking care of the people that are going to take care of you, then what's going to happen? They're not going to take care of you. And you can't take care of them. Somebody's going to be more than happy. It's like if you're married or somebody's spending more time with your kid, Somebody would be more than happy to take your space here because everybody wants something that you have. Don't give the opportunity, but also understand you're only as good as yourself. Stop watching the memes of everybody else. Stop watching half the reality shows. They're fake, everybody. They're BS. They're fake. They're rehearsed. Life's a rehearsal. Tiger Woods had a coach. Look at DeChambeau. He goes out and plays in the tournament. We actually had a chance to see him at the Live Golf Tournament 2 weeks ago in Nashville. He played a whole round on the hottest day and then went out and hit 1,000 balls. I don't hit 1,000 practice balls on any given day, even in the fall when it's cool. That's why I'm a bad golfer. But that's the whole point. The best get better because they work on their business and in their business, not just at their business. And that's a key point of where it's at. So, and always be a student. When the student's ready to learn, the teacher shall appear. You don't know who or what it is. It could be a dog taking a nap. It might be a sign to you, yo, you're burning too much. Take a nap. I'm just being silly there. But if you're staying the same, you're either succumbing or going. You're either going forwards or backwards. But if you're staying the same, you're dead. So.
Totally agree with that. Yeah, totally agree with that. And yeah, lots of golden nuggets there, but I want to deep dive with real estate. Of course, you really need to build relationships. And you mentioned about your virtual assistant as well. So, of course, a lot of, real estate professionals right now, especially in US, who are also considering to, get virtual assistants. So how did you make it work for yourself? Because, of course, there's a lot of sometimes real estate brokers there who also want to get VA, but they're struggling with it because they don't know probably how to navigate on that area, maybe because it's their first time. So what is your advice to them on how to, make it work and, develop that dynamics between you and your VA since they're working offshore?
Yeah. My VAs work my hours. I call them my vampires. So they're during my East Coast time. We are in and out of Zoom calls. We're out of a whole bunch of things. But I was in judgment when I first looked at it and heard about it. I was like, nah. And then you start thinking about it. And why is that? Because it's a comfort zone. It's something where you're comfortable with. Like I said, like when I went out and decided to revamp myself 3 years ago, going to EXP Realty, I said, I'm going all in. I'm doing the Colonel Sanders at 61 years old. He created Kentucky Fried Chicken. So when I looked at a lot of virtual companies, and I had heard the founder Justin before and all this stuff, and I started watching the processes and going through there. And the hardest part is when you start going through your lists of what do you do in a daily day, and then you find out how much you waste time. And it's very hard because you think you're all this and that and a box of chocolates. Your job is to work with buyers and sellers or belly to belly with clients or building relationships, getting on the phone. It's not shuffling paper. And when you get out of that way and put it into an SOP, a standard operation procedure, you realize that you weren't even doing it right. I wasn't doing it right. I wasn't complying right. I wasn't following up. The example this morning, we finally cleaned up our KV core and we got emails going out for anniversaries now. We got cards that are going out through Thanks.io and all this stuff. My clients are email, thank you for the card, thank you for this. I hadn't done that for years. I'm thinking, how much business did I really lose by not doing it? Because I didn't have the technology in place. Look, I'm the guy with technology. You say hit any key on the computer board, I'm going to look for the any key. There is no key that says any key. I know. Tech support taught me that one day when I sat there looking for something. So stop saying you can't, because if you don't change, what this industry has done in 5 years, it's going to do in 2 years. And then what it's doing in 2 years, it's going to do in 6 months. And the only reason, you don't grow or anything like that is because you're in your own way. You're in this. And if anybody ever wants to call and talk to me about this adventure, this is not easy. If life was easy, we'd all do it. The struggle's real. And I know it's a fake, everybody has that thing. No, shit's real. Struggle's real. It's all in there. And if it isn't, you're not pushing the envelope. You're just cruising along and letting it go by. You get to drive life like it's a race car or a jet. Because guess what? At some point, it's going to come to a halt and you're going to hit a wall and you're not even going to hit it. So I don't know if that is, but the VAs have definitely, the hardest part was me understanding what I do and what I shouldn't be touching, what I do touch, and what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses, and understand I got more weaknesses than I do strengths, and let them work my weaknesses that are their strengths. So.
Love that. And that is leverage. You really leveraged your business like, 10x. And yeah, thank you so much, Craig, for those the golden nuggets and inspiring stories that you've shared to us. But before that, what is if you have listeners right now who wants to connect with you, learn from you, or might be wanting to join your team, what's the best way for them to contact you?
You can always call me or text me at 215-778-6805. You can always email me at craig@craiglerch.com. You can also follow me under the real estate old guy, real_estate_old_estate on Instagram or TikTok. Find me on Facebook. Get to me because my virtual assistants, Fona and Vicky, know how to get to me, and they watch it. They make sure that I'm involved. And that's another thing. If you're not doing social media, it's like layering of onions. It may not make you a lot of money, but it keeps you out there. It keeps you accountable to what you're doing. So that's how you
Totally agree. Totally agree with that. Thank you so much, Craig. But stay there because after this quick commercial, we'll be having our next segment.
Perfect.
Overwhelmed with work? Well, meet your new partner from Sphere Rocket VA. In just a click, get matched with a virtual assistant who handles all the tedious tasks. No in-person hiring, no extra office gear, just easy online help from our recruitment team. It's like having an extra pair of hands minus the hassle. So ready to relax and see your work done just like magic? Choose Sphere Rocket VA and visit us at www.sphererocketva.com.
All right, and we're back, still here with Craig, and it's time for our lightning round. So, Craig, lightning round are just quick and fun questions. So, you ready?
No, I don't eat ketchup on my hot dog. That's one of my best fun things I do with my VAs. Whoever does that, I'm sorry for that. I had to do that.
Oh, so fun. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that trivia. But the first question is, what is your favorite business book?
Be Your Future Self Now. Great book out. And again, you guys, I mean, this sits right on my desk also. Buy back your time. You can't get time back. You can't get health. You can't get time back. I'm trying to get time back, and I should be working on my health more. But the bottom line is you can have all the money in the world, but you can still be miserable.
Totally agree with that.
Work on your present, making your memes when you're here.
Totally agree, yeah. And thank you for sharing that book. And the next is, who is your favorite influencer or coach? I think this is given.
I'm going to have to say Tommy because he's helped me the most in the end right now, Tommy Schaff. And anybody ever needs to get to him, you're welcome to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to get to him. He is very restricted on who he will take. He'll interview to see whether you can get in or not. He doesn't like failure. He doesn't like non-commitment. It's all in or you're all out. So I would say that. And I'm going to say Tommy. Definitely.
Love that. And the next is, what is your favorite lead generation method?
My kids won't go to the store with me. I could be in an airport somewhere else and I'm talking to people. I go to other cities and I see if I can find sales, or it's just being me talking to people, and not about yourself. When people say, how are you? Don't say, oh, I'm great, and start throwing up on them. Say, look, do something different. Having a super fantastic day, less Brown's line and all that stuff. But figure out just how you can help more people and more things will come to you. Become that person, become that guy, that gal, that individual, that person says, man, are you ever sad? Are you ever not smiling? Takes just as much to frown, if not more, than it does to smile. So do those things, and that's how I go. That's my best lead generation. Get out and see people. If you're a secret agent, that's a you problem. Look at how many people are in your phone. This thing is worth a gold mine. How many people are in your phone? 10% of them are going to do business. So let's do the math. You got 500, that's 50 people. That'll pay for a lot of lifestyle for your average sale price. Let's say you get 25. Let's say you get 12 and a half. Probably more deals than the average agent is, because the average agent in the United States, I think, is 8. Yes. Pick it up. Call somebody. Don't ask them if they want to buy or sell real estate. Ask them if they know somebody who's just had a baby, somebody who's getting a raise, somebody who needs to relocate, somebody who wants to downsize, somebody who had a death in the family. The 3 Ds: death, divorce, debt. Those 3 Ds, people are going to move.
Thank you for sharing that, Craig. And the next is, what is your biggest goal for 2024?
To finish 2024, see, I live life in 90-day segments. Today's my third 90-day segment within this 24 year. So I started this before. I think I've got 80 some segments. I said, what are 25 years look like? It's 100 segments. And today, actually, like I said, today until the end of September. So in the next 6 months, I want to re-icon again, which is do my cap and make my sales all within 2 quarters, where most people will take a year. I want to get that done. And I also want to help at a minimum 250 people change their real estate lives in real estate. Be their best. Stop worrying about who I'm working for, where I'm at. And if you're going to run a business, run a business. And I'm here to help, and I want to help them grow. So meet my sales where I'm at, stay in Icon, stay in my luxury, stay in my first time out, do all that, but also change the lives of an additional 250 on top of the 100 plus some I have already, EXP. So grow my organization into the 300 round, because make it worldwide, not just in my snow globe anymore, all over the United States, helping people. It's going to change their lives, going to make them better. And the biggest thing that makes me go is that purpose is creating legacy. And it's not just legacy for my family, it's legacy for other families.
Love that. Love that. And no doubts that you'll achieve that, because I can sense your energy and really good energy with it. And yeah. So lastly, what is your favorite Amazon purchase of all time?
My favorite Amazon purchase of all time. Oh, God. I don't know. Amazon purchase. Wow. Favorite?
Or this year, so we can narrow it down.
I bought 2 cases of these. So whenever I meet with agents or whenever I talk to somebody in my office or physically, I always give everybody a snow globe. That's my trademark now. So if I'm meeting with an agent or I'm meeting with somebody, I said, I don't care if you come to real estate with me or not. I just want you to remember the conversation. Or how long are you going to stay in your snow globe? Because at some point you're going to put yourself to sleep. So this has been my most inspiring and emotional purchase because it keeps me in track. And I get emotional when I tell the story. I didn't today. My Irene didn't come out. As my wife says, as Linda says all the time, I have 3 personalities: Vinny, Craig, and Irene. My male chauvinist side, my Craig normal, and then my Irene, which is my sensitive side. But, normally I get teary-eyed telling the story because it's changed my life and it's changed others. It's changing other people's lives, and that's the key. You got to fix your inside first. Find out who you are. Fix your problems inside, and then you'll be able to fix the world. Stop trying to fix the world until you fix you. You can only fix you. You can only control you. Leave the rest out.
Totally agree.
So,
totally agree with that. Love that. Love that. And it changed my life too today. That is such a good metaphor and good lesson in life. So thank you so much, Craig, for sharing that. And yeah, I learned so much today. But before we end this podcast, I'm giving you the floor. If you want to give a shout out or promote anything, the floor is yours.
Look, get out of judgment, get into curiosity, call Sphere Rocket, talk to them about your virtual assistant. They're not a hard sell. And again, they're not telling me to do this. I only promote things that work for me. There's a lot of people that, can you promote me? Can you do this? Can you do that? No. And learn to say no. Start learning to say no to people. No, I'm not spending money on that. No, I'm not going to knee jerk. No, I'm not adding that in this quarter. That's why I'm 90-day segments, because you can't get too off track and too on track. The point is you can constantly check yourself. Like Sphere Rocket, if a rocket was going to the moon, it's constantly off track and on track. And that's what I liked about the name Sphere Rocket. It's a sphere of going as far as you can, but it's also adjustable at every given point. And the coaching with it. So I'm going to say shout out to Fona, shout out to Vicky. You guys are awesome. Your communication is growing. You guys are doing great. Hey, you're letting me do what I'm doing and be me, and you guys are having fun being you, and that's the fun part. So have some fun, everybody. Okay, I have one for you, sweet.
Thank you.
What's your favorite ice cream?
Oh, my favorite ice cream. On top of my mind, my always go-to is Double Dutch. Double Dutch flavor. Yeah.
Double Dutch. Here we go. My Fona's is vanilla, and Vicky's is mint chocolate chip. If you don't know your support people around you, things like that, even though they're in the Philippines, I wish I could send it to them. And I can't. At least you need to know it. So that's what I wanted to ask, because it was a teaching point that if you're not knowing everything about everybody else, they're not going to care about knowing everything about you.
Oh,
I appreciate you sharing.
Love that. I appreciate you too, Craig. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you here in the podcast. And I wish you continued success in your endeavors, not only in real estate, but in life in general.
My pleasure. Be well. Be blessed. You need me? Anybody need me? You know how to get to me. I'm not hiding.
Yeah, thank you so much. And there you have it, friends. Hope you learned from this episode as much as I do. So comment down below your biggest takeaway from this episode and hit that subscribe button so you will never miss a single episode. And again, my name is Sweet. And until next time, stay inspired and keep building those spheres of success. Thank you. Bye.
Feeling the difference with Sphere Rocket VA? Tasks are flying off your list, and there's more me time in your day. And guess what? It's all super affordable. Yes, you heard right. Our virtual assistants aren't just amazing at what they do, they're easy on your wallet too. No more stress over emails or schedules. With Sphere Rocket VA, you get your time back and keep your budget happy. Ready for simpler, affordable workdays? Head on over to www.sphererocketva.com. Join us at Sphere Rocket VA, where every day is easy and easy on your budget.